The day has finally arrived and staking natively of HBAR tokens on the Hedera mainnet is finally here via supported wallets. So Hashpack, of course, is the one I'll be using in this video, spoken in detail about them. However, I'm pretty sure that other wallets such as Blade Wallet, Walla Wallet, etc. all support native staking from within these software/hot wallets. We can see here Hashpack 4.4 staking rewards have been released. We've updated the staking tab with more information, as well as added a collect rewards button. Transactions involving staking rewards will also show a label now, and then other patch notes as well. You've got Hashport being added to the dApp browser, as well as some more token icons. So if I quickly spin up my Hashpack wallet and we head over, we can see we've got the stake tab on this side here. Within this wallet of mine, you can see that I'm currently staked to node 1, which is 𝗟𝗜𝗡𝗙𝗥𝗥𝗔𝗟𝗦. You can change this at any point by clicking the change node button. And here we can see all of the governing council nodes, of which of course there are 26. Now, at the time of speaking, during this initial rollout phase of native staking, the rewards between the different nodes will be equivalent. That is effectively the APR across all of them will be exactly the same. This is subject to change in the future and be weighted more on sort of a transactional basis processed via each of the nodes, and you'd have a slightly different distribution based on that. However, as I've said, as it currently stands, there is absolutely no difference between the nodes in terms of reward payouts. So that is how you can change the nodes. You can also see the staking information. Once you are staked to a node, your full HBAR balance from within your Hashpack wallet will automatically be staked to the node, and any additional HBAR that gets sent to the wallet or received into the wallet will also automatically be staked. You do not have to do anything once you've chosen to stake this entire wallet to that particular node. Another common question I've been asked is, can I stake to multiple different nodes? Currently, there is no support from within the wallets as it currently stands. Again, that may change in the future. You can currently only select one of the 26 nodes. We can see here as well, under the staking information panel, we've got the next reward period. So for example, at the time of me shooting this video, this will be in 10 hours from now. And it also tells me my pending rewards, which apparently is 0 HBAR. Current node currently stakes 1.23 billion HBAR. So that's the stuff we saw before. You've got the min and max information, and then you've got the network staking information for the entirety of the Hedera mainnet, network total being staked, and then the staking reward treasury of nearly 250 million HBAR, which is of course going to be distributed. Eagle-eyed of you as well would have noticed you've got this collect rewards button at the bottom, and this is how you're going to be able to redeem your HBARs from the staking emissions that will be sent or allocated effectively to your wallet. So of course you do have to come in here and collect rewards. Now, when we looked at the video yesterday, if you guys did check that one out, on the Hedera page itself, it does talk about different actions which will automatically trigger a reward claim, and things like amendments to your HBAR balance should automatically claim these rewards. Of course, this then opens scope as well in the future for potentially NFT projects or other dApps to send a microtransaction to sort of wallets that potentially hold an NFT to automatically compound these rewards for you. Again, this is sort of me speculating, but I'm certain there'll be people behind the scenes already looking to do so and almost utilize that kind of loophole of the HBAR changing balance in order to offer some kind of auto compounding feature for native staking. So as it currently stands, there isn't any native staking. You do have to claim every period or claim every so many periods in order to collect your rewards. Again, the more frequently you claim, the more compounding you will experience across that APR. From what I can currently tell at the moment, the APR is at the maximum cap of 6.5%, and that is what you'll be receiving annually. So of course, that'd be 6.5% divided by 365 days, and that is your daily HBAR reward for that balance within the wallet. Okay, hopefully that brings everyone up to date with what's happening with native staking. Of course, there are some other platforms within the space to do with HBAR yielding, and I'll be talking about some of these different comparisons now to give you guys a bit of an understanding of what I personally will be looking to do, as well as give you guys some more information about your own personal choices, because of course you need to make sure you're doing your own research. Stader Hedera as well has also released saying HBarbarians V3 is now coming. Let's see how it differs between V1 and V2. So if we cast our minds back to when Stader Hedera originally launched, you had the V1 where effectively the user stakes their HBAR into the HBARX contract. And then you'll effectively receive that 𝗟𝗡𝗙𝗥 token. And then from their rewards pool, wherever you see this is of course being funded by the 𝗟𝗡𝗙 Foundation grants. The 𝗟𝗡𝗙 rewards were put inside the 𝗟𝗡𝗙𝗥 smart contract. And then when V2 went live, you had the ability to unstake that 𝗟𝗡𝗙𝗥 and receive 𝗟𝗡𝗙 with those compounded rewards that we had seen previously. Now, what's different in V3 is effectively the same scenario is going on as V2, nothing different. You've got the rewards pool bulking out those emissions, and obviously if you hold that 𝗟𝗡𝗙𝗥, that's a derivative of 𝗟𝗡𝗙, that's increasing on a daily basis by the APR rate, obviously divided out by the 365 periods. And then if you unstake, you receive that 𝗟𝗡𝗙 back. However, what they are now able to do is take advantage of the native staking on top of this. So all of the 𝗟𝗡𝗙 that has been staked into the 𝗟𝗡𝗙x contract, they are now staking on the back end to different nodes. And of course, they are receiving rewards for that 𝗟𝗡𝗙 sitting within that 𝗟𝗡𝗙 contract. So effectively, they're using that to beef up the rewards in the short term, while the rewards pool still remains. So what we can effectively say is that the APR for Stader Hedera will probably be slightly higher for the near term, because they still have some of those reward pool emissions to distribute, plus they are staking the 𝗟𝗡𝗙 in the 𝗟𝗡𝗙x contract natively behind the scenes. Hopefully that makes some sense. Right then, let's look at a comparison of what's available at the moment for yield or staking across 𝗟𝗡𝗙 or Hedera. Okay, here's a quick sort of summary sheet that I put together of the current status of staking across Hedera with 3 different alternative options, the rates, the pros and the cons of each of them. So firstly, let's look at native staking for the 𝗟𝗡𝗙 token. We can say roughly the rate is going to be around 6.5% in the short term. Of course, all of these rates are subject to change depending on what's going on with it within the underlying applications and the network. Of course, the benefits of native staking being it's a native in-wallet solution being provided by the network itself. Because of that, you have absolutely no third-party risk. Your only risk effectively is the Hedera protocol itself. You have a sustainable APR, which kind of can be worked out based on transactions being processed. They are fully liquid balances with no bonding and unstaking required. You literally claim your rewards and then you're able to transfer that 𝗟𝗡𝗙 and do whatever you like with it. You don't have to wait for anything to happen. Now, of course, the negatives from what I can see immediately for the 𝗟𝗙 native staking is that at the moment there is no accrued reward information. Again, this could be solved in the short term by these wallet apps, providing that at the moment is something you'd have to work out manually for the rewards that you are receiving. For example, summing all of the transactions from your wallet. The next option for staking on Hedera is of course Stader with the 𝗟𝗙𝗥 liquid token. This has of course been around for quite a while. I've been talking about it for a long time and obviously had different interviews with them on the channel. At the moment that is around 10.35%. So of course it's a higher APR, and that is because the 𝗟𝗙 within the 𝗟𝗙𝗥 contract is staked to Hedera nodes behind the scenes and then redistributed as APR plus the 𝗟𝗙 Foundation emissions that they currently have left. And that is of course propping that rate up slightly, why you've got a differential of around 4%. Of course, we need to remember as well, the 𝗟𝗙 tokens are fully liquid tokens that can also be traded on DEXs and can actually be used as well to provide even additional or further yield from those liquid tokens. Of course, there are some drawbacks of using a third party, which is of course third party risk becomes a factor. You know, Stader at any point could become illiquid. We've seen it happen time and time again throughout the ecosystem. When you are using a third-party decentralized application or company, it's always something to bear in mind. The other thing as well is at the moment you still have the 24-hour unstaking/unbonding period. So if you want to redeem all of those rewards from your 𝗟𝗙𝗥 and convert it back into 𝗟𝗡𝗙, you need to wait 24 hours via the Stader platform. Of course, you can get around this by using the SourceSwap DEX and taking advantage of those fully liquid tokens. However, as we've seen, arbitrage is of course a thing. And unless the markets are 100% efficient, there is normally a gap between what the value you will receive on SourceSwap, of course there's fees, compared to what you'll get on Stader's platform itself. So normally it's best practice to obviously wait the 24 hours to get your maximum amount of 𝗟𝗙 back. And again, the same being shared with the native 𝗟𝗙, there is no accrued reward information from your 𝗟𝗙𝗥 tokens and how much you've gained, etc. over that period. So it's not very clear as to what you've been earning. You can kind of work it out again, but it would be nice to have that information immediately. The last one, and again, hopefully you guys are noticing that this is going from obviously the least amount of risk to higher levels of risk per se. And again, that's not down to the platforms themselves, it's just what's happening. So yield farming on SourceSwap, of course, you've got a little bit more risk here because of this impermanent loss we'll talk about in a second. Now this is going to vary again, it's around 17.3% yield per annum. So we can go from 6.5 all the way up to the other end of 17.3 if you want to take on some more risk. One of the pros of this is obviously you've got 3 times rewards effectively on SourceSwap Labs via these yield farms. You've got the native staking of the HBAR behind the scenes. You've got the 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗥𝗥𝗔𝗟𝗦 additional emissions. And then plus you've got the transactions from the yield farm. Probably I should have actually put 4x rewards here because you've then got not only the yield farm rewards they're giving you, you've got the transactions obviously from providing liquidity as well to even get into those yield farms. So actually this should say 4 times rewards for SourceSwap. You've got an accurate and detailed breakdown via their analytics pages and portfolio pages of how much you've been earning from those yield farms before you collect, so you know exactly what you're effectively claiming and have claimed. You've got no unstaking or bonding periods, and everything is fully liquid. You can literally pull liquidity from the yield farms as soon as you effectively want to. Again, of course, the drawbacks being impermanent loss is a risk, and you've also got third-party risk because it's a non-sort of native Hedera associated product. Something you guys as well, eagle-eyed of you, may have noticed is effectively this is a layering scenario we're seeing here. So the basis for all rewards is effectively coming from the native HBAR staking. Stader 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗥𝗥𝗔𝗟𝗦 solution is of course built on top of the native staking, is utilizing a portion of that. And then to go one step further, you've got SourceSwap, which is doing exactly the same thing, building on top of the native staking and taking advantage of the 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗥𝗥𝗔𝗟𝗦 staking platform to effectively snowball those yields even further to provide you with a higher APR. Hopefully this guys are giving you a bit of a understanding of the different platforms, why the APR/APYs are slightly different, and the pros and cons of each of the platforms themselves. Me personally, at the moment, I will continue to be using the yield farms and the Stader 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗥𝗥𝗔𝗟𝗦, majority of it being in 𝗟𝗡𝗥𝗥 because of that boosted yield we're seeing from the emissions that still remain. And then some of my other balances will be within the native HBAR staking. Of course, as well, depending on what tokens you use, the example here I'm giving is for the 𝗟𝗡𝗥𝗥𝗡𝗥. There should be very, very little impermanent loss, if any, because one is a derivative of another, and they should both move in the same direction, either up or down, depending on the market price. However, of course, other pairs on SourceSwap will have much higher return, and there is a much greater likelihood of impermanent loss taking place. Of course, I have previous videos talking about yield farms on SourceSwap, and again, more detailed information about what impermanent loss is, how you can effectively experience impermanent loss, and also how to avoid the pitfalls of things like providing liquidity. That is a video on the channel, and I'll try and leave that link down in the description or a card inside the thing. Similarly with Stader, Hedera's 𝗟𝗡𝗥𝗥𝗔𝗟𝗦 solution, I have dedicated videos talking about how to utilize the platform, how to stake and take advantage of these rewards. Anyway, that's going to wrap up this video, as I want to keep this dedicated to what's happening within the ecosystem currently in regards to staking. If you did enjoy, of course, leave a like, drop a comment if you've got anything to say, any questions. I do try and respond to as many of them as I possibly can. Make sure you're subscribed, and also make sure you check out my Twitter account, as I repost a lot of this information, and I think I'll repost this infographic/sheet over on my Twitter. And until the next one, I'll catch you then. Cheers.